Hey everyone, this is Louis7, and in this video I want to talk about positivity and negativity in the Lord of the Rings Online, and more specifically with content creation and making videos and the such, but also how it applies in-game. So as you all have probably seen, I've been testing out a bunch of different video ideas the past couple weeks, and this topic has been on my mind the entire time, and I was thinking I could kind of do another test video with this one, by sharing some of the background on content creation and how some of the thinking that goes along with my videos applies to the experience in the game as a player as well. So to start off, there are many times I want to just praise LOTRO in my videos and share how great of a game it is because I really do enjoy my time in it. There are also a ton of things I like about LOTRO, and there are also just a ton of fun things to do in the game. So kind of obviously, I would not play LOTRO if it weren't so enjoyable and fun. And to me, it really is a great game, even if it is quite a few years old now. And as a gamer, just in general, I like being able to invest my time into a game and feel like I get a lot out of it from that investment. And really the MMORPG genre as a whole works for that, but LOTRO really fits in with that for me. So my most played game over the past few years has been the Lord of the Rings Online, and that is why I make videos covering LOTRO, and honestly, LOTRO is actually why my YouTube channel exists and is where it is today. So of course I want to praise the game and share how much fun I have in it with other people and basically anybody that stumbles upon my videos. However, the problem and kind of point of this video actually is that I find myself, it seems like, somewhat frequently actually criticizing the game instead of praising it for how good it is. And this is something I often find other players of the game doing as well. LOTRO is a game that many people love and invest a lot of time into, yet they criticize it. And that actually does make sense. I think some aspects of LOTRO are well worth the criticism because players of the game, and myself included in that, they want LOTRO to be as good as possible. And that's really the reason people leave feedback on anything to begin with. Leaving feedback is how people voice their opinion on whatever. In this case, it would be LOTRO. And that is in hope that they can push for change. In LOTRO, a big topic right now is the legendary item grind, where many players and even longtime players of LOTRO who really love the game are vocally critical about the system. And these critics are just hoping that the legendary item system gets changed for the better. So I think that should all make sense with you all. People criticize things they like as a form of feedback to encourage change, and I do the same, but I do it on a platform of YouTube in the form of videos. I have made quite a few videos where I'm critical of some aspects of systems in LOTRO, sometimes in streams as well. If I am dealing with those aspects of the game, I will often voice my opinion there as well. And as I mentioned earlier in this video, I do love LOTRO, but there are honestly a lot of things for me to be critical about in the game. I won't go into specifics here, but I think if all I did was make critical videos, that would be way too much negativity. And that finally brings us to the word negativity, which is a big part of the topic of this video. In general, humans are more affected by negativity. If something negative in the news comes up, we as humans tend to think about it more and kind of generally think about more negative things. This isn't a rule that everybody experiences it, but in general, people do tend to focus on negative instead of the positive as things happen. Applying this to LOTRO, there are features of the game that could be great but have negative aspects to them. In general, players will tend to focus on their experiences with the negative aspects and neglect anything positive about whatever system it is that's being talked about or discussed. So going back to the example on the legendary items, many players of LOTRO, including the critics, will almost ignore everything good about like the legendary item system and even good things about having the grind. There are actually many examples of like things like this, but another one is some of the server issues experienced in late summer of this year. Some players only think about their negative experiences with the servers and isolate their thoughts to issues logging in or lag issues with these server issues without actually thinking about the positive experiences with LOTRO's servers. For me, a big positive is that LOTRO servers still exist considering how old the game is and how like small the LOTRO dev team is and just things like that. But the idea here is that players focus on the negative in LOTRO, and some videos and content I produce, I sometimes do the exact same thing. So if I start to think about a negative aspect of something in LOTRO, I can then spiral into thinking negatively about similar aspects of the game and just overall being kind of down on LOTRO. But because of this, one thing I always try to do is think positively about things. This is not only true with LOTRO and content creation, but everywhere in life, and this links back to the beginning of the video as well, where I said I love the game and have a lot to praise for it. That is the type of stuff I often try to focus on, and even with the aspects of LOTRO that I don't like, I try to think about the things I like about whatever it is. So I really think this way of thinking is better, and for me, not only it improves my experiences in the game and it really allows me to have more fun with LOTRO, but it also makes content creation more enjoyable making these videos. And the idea here is that I believe positivity and negativity needs to be balanced. Positive thinking is all well and good until there is actually something you don't like. If you don't voice your negative opinion and give feedback, you will just kind of be stuck with something you don't like, which is not a good thing. But that means, in a way, negativity can actually be a good thing if your entire focus of feedback isn't just on hating. Again, I think you have to balance negativity with positivity, and in LOTRO, to have player feedback be useful, expressing your negative opinion of something is needed, but without positivity, it's more likely to be ignored and written off. Back to the example, if people want the legendary item system changed, of course they need to say they dislike it in the first place, otherwise the developers won't ever know that. But it's going to be much more helpful to also include the positivity by saying what parts of the legendary item system are good and should actually stick if the system as a whole were to get changed. And I also think, just like in general with LOTRO, to think more positively within the game will allow you to have more fun with it if it is a game that you do love to begin with. And I just overall think that's important. But to get back to my content, if I am making a video criticizing something in LOTRO, like my upcoming video that's going to be on the clash trait points, I try to do so in a constructive feedback way and don't just drone on the negatives, even though that is almost the purpose of the video, is the negatives. And one thing I always try to do is offer suggestions for improvement as kind of another mode of positive outlook. Thinking about things I would like if they were implemented into LOTRO, I think is more helpful, and at least for me, makes making the actual content more enjoyable, as I mentioned. And another thing I do in these type of videos is try to stress that even though it may be a negative type of video with criticizing something in LOTRO, I only do so because I want LOTRO to be better and be even more fun, because I do genuinely enjoy the game, and just having that positive outlook, positive attitude, I think is a good thing. But anyway, another specific example I have to share here is from a live stream I did a couple weeks ago. I was doing some Moria instances with my kinship on an ore with our low-level progression group. In the past few weeks, we were meeting up every Sunday evening for our low-level group content, and well, after running a single Moria instance on this particular event for about an hour, I think it was Phil Gashan, but we ran that, and then a couple people in the group decided they wanted to quit with the Moria instances and switch to epic battles for the rest of the evening. So it was kind of decided that an epic battle would be run instead of the next Moria instance like we would usually do. And I'm not the biggest fan of epic battles, but I know the people in my kin have been really enjoying them. And to be honest, I was upset with the people in my group at the time because I was having a ton of fun with these low-level instances. And as I mentioned, it was just something we consistently did every evening. We were spending the entire time doing the instances. It was first Angmar, then we were moving up to Moria at the time. So just in general, I wasn't too happy, and I did express that a little bit in the stream, but instead of like becoming super angry and just thinking about how much I hate epic battles, I decided I would still join that group and try to get some enjoyment out of them, because again, I do enjoy spending the time with my kinship, even in epic battles if I don't enjoy those all too much. So the idea here is, instead of becoming angry and all that stuff, I focused on the aspects of epic battles that I did enjoy, and also focused just on my time in the game I was spending with my kinship, because that was enjoyable. And to top it off, I also decided after the epic battles I would go back to Moria solo just to get myself some extra fulfillment with the actual content there. And I guess kind of the moral of this story was that I focused on the positive instead of the negative, so I was able to enjoy my time in LOTRO during that play session, during that stream, even more than if I just like focused on the negatives with the epic battles during that entire period. But that is it for my stories and kind of talking about my content creation, and I kind of want to summarize this video by saying it is important to balance negativity and positivity in your thoughts with the Lord of the Rings Online. I think it's really great to criticize the aspects of the game you dislike and that you work your opinion to have the game change for the better. I do the same, of course, but again, I think you will get more enjoyment out of the game and just a better experience overall from your feedback if you do so with some positivity. And even being sure to keep your positive experiences in mind when you give feedback or criticize a game, or just when you're dealing with something negative that you're discussing or talking about or giving feedback on or whatever with LOTRO. But anyway, this was a super weird video, but I did want to make it because it has been a topic on my mind and thought it was worth sharing. I hope you'll enjoy the video, but I really hope this helps maybe some players maybe think more positively about things they enjoy in LOTRO. And if you did enjoy this video, please consider liking and subscribing for more, or becoming a channel member to support the content, and thanks for watching, everyone.